Welcome back to the Scott Ballard Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. Our last time sitting down with Coach Ballard before his team takes the road for the final time in the regular season this year. Games at Augustana on Friday and then at Wayne State on Saturday. We talked earlier this week about it seems like a broken record, some of the things that have been going on the court. It seems like a broken record here as we talk about two more really good opponents, a Wayne State team that's ranked and an Augustana team that was ranked for a good chunk of the season.
Well, Augustana, they graduated 4 key players from a year ago, just like we did, and they're 11-9 right now. But they were a team that went to Final Four last year, and both these teams are completely polar opposites. Augie is a up-tempo team. They are really quick at all 3 guard spots. That's the strength of their team. They're trying to develop some young post players, but they try to really put a lot of ball pressure on you, full court. They try to scramble and trap out of it, mix that in. They have played some teams a little bit of zone just to try to show you a different look, but they're all about up tempo. They shoot the ball a lot from 3-point land. They put it up quick, so you've got to be aware of that and rebound. They play a lot like Mankato. They're just not as deep and not as good inside, but they play a lot like Mankato. They're a speed team. Wayne, they have their entire team back from a year ago. They're 21-2. They're ranked 9th in the country. The only team that's beaten them is Concordia. Beat them twice, just because of matchups. But they play a big 2-3 zone 98% of the time. The only time you ever see them go man-to-man is if it's late in the game and you've been hurting them, in their zone. So when you play against zone, you got to have a good shooting game. Playing against man-to-man, we got to have dribble drive opportunities. They're both really good at what they do, and like most teams, they're a lot better at home than they are on the road. So it's going to be a big challenge for us.
These two teams, you go on the road for the final time this regular season. Wayne State is a top 10 team, like you said. Augustana is another good team, and we talk about this all the time. But week in and week out, you're playing so many good teams. It really is like going through a meat grinder when you're playing in the NSIC. You never get a night off in this league, and that's one of the great things about this conference and the basketball played here is that it's so good night in and night out.
It's quality opponents. Our league, especially on the women's side, has the bottom teams over the last 5 years have really closed the gap, and we beat each other up so much during the conference schedule with 22 games that it makes it really difficult to get more than 3 teams from our league in the regional. So Wayne has a good chance. If they don't stub their toe a few times in the last 3 weeks, they've got a good chance to host a regional, and so they got a lot to play for. We've got a lot to play for, even though we've had this losing streak. Every game that we can win puts us in a better position with regards to a matchup or where we may go travel-wise in the playoffs. And if we can avoid having to make the long trip to Minot or Mary because we won a few games here in the last 3 weeks, it's well worth it.
Absolutely.
But you just got to take it one game at a time, and it comes down to matchup, style of play, and like you mentioned earlier, maybe one of these games coming up pretty soon, we're going to have multiple people that shoot the ball well the same night, and we can break the 70-point barrier. We've only done that once all year. I mean, our margin of error has always been small, but losing the 2-point guards, it's just made it that much more difficult. But we're tweaking things and experimenting and concentrating on developing the younger players, and we are getting better. We just haven't got the rewards from it yet.
You mentioned how well this team has been attitude-wise on the floor, never giving up. What's your message then this weekend going forward against these two teams on the road?
Well, let's see if we can shock the world. We're going to be the underdog every game. So we're trying to take pressure off of them that they kind of put on themselves because of the losing streak. But, all that matters is what lies ahead. And staying positive and upbeat and focus on the things you have control over, that's the best message that you can give them.
Absolutely. It's going to be 2 more road games for the Warriors this weekend. It's their last 2 road games over the regular season before they play their final 4 games of the year here at home in McCowan Gymnasium. That's all we have with Coach Ballard for this week. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week on The Scott Ballard Show.